Shout out to my patrons. Want to see your name here? Link is also down in the description. The 2010 MLB draft featured players like Yasmani Grandal, Chris Sale, Christian Yelich, Jacob deGrom, JT Realmuto, Whit Merrifield, Chris Bryant, Aaron Judge, and even six-time Pro Bowler and Super Bowl champ Russell Wilson. But none of those guys were drafted inside of the top 10. It isn't easy to draft highly rated players as it is in the NFL. There's always going to be some hits and misses. Let's look at guys who are able to hit in the majors and guys who kept missing in the minors with the top 10 picks of the 2010 MLB draft. With the 10th pick of the 2010 MLB draft, the Oakland Athletics select Michael Choice, outfielder from the University of Texas, Arlington. Before the 2012 season, he was listed as the 59th best prospect in baseball according to MLB.com. He then made his big league debut in 2013, but only played 9 games, but had 5 hits in that time. Those would be the only games he'd play with the team that drafted him. He was then traded to the Texas Rangers in 2014, where he actually got to play 86 games with Texas, but just like his short time in Oakland, failed to impress anybody. He was then traded to the Cleveland Indians in 2015 for cash. And you know when you start getting traded for cash, you just aren't very good at that point. He was last in the States with Milwaukee Brewers AA team in 2017, where he then was released after just 48 games. He still plays professional baseball today in the Mexican Pacific Winter League on a team that I'm not even going to try to pronounce. This man was clearly a bust though. With the 9th pick of the 2010 MLB draft, the San Diego Padres select pitcher Karsten Whiteson from Chipley High School in Florida. As a senior in high school, Whiteson pitched to a .62 ERA and recorded 123 strikeouts in just 55 innings pitched. Baseball America ranked Whiteson the 3rd best high school prospect in all of the United States. But unfortunately for the Padres, they offered him $2.1 million, but he didn't sign because he wanted $2.7 million, and also said he just felt like he wasn't ready to play minor league baseball at that point. He was drafted again in the 37th round in 2013 by the Nationals, but again didn't sign, and was drafted one more time in the 11th round in 2014 by the Red Sox, where he finally signed. He played just 4 games of professional baseball in Boston's single-A team, and that was it for his baseball career. Now he's a volunteer assistant coach at the University of South Florida. With the 8th pick in the 2010 MLB draft, the Houston Astros select Delino DeShields Jr., second baseman out of Woodward Academy in Georgia. Even though he's drafted as a second baseman, he's actually only played 1 major league game there while being moved to center field, but he can also play a little bit of left field too. He never played big league games with the Astros as he was taken the Rule 5 draft by the Texas Rangers. He was up and down with the Rangers for 5 straight seasons. Even with a decent amount of playing time at the big league level, DeShields never really put up great offensive numbers with the Rangers, but he was actually part of a big blockbuster trade this past offseason that brought him to Cleveland and Cy Young winner Corey Kluber to Texas. But yet again, he just couldn't put up that great of numbers. He's still only 28 as of making this video, so even after a full decade of being drafted, we still aren't 100% sure what Delino DeShields Jr. can be as a major league player. With the 7th pick of the 2010 MLB draft, the New York Mets select Matt Harvey, pitcher, North Carolina. When Matt Harvey was in his prime, there was serious talks in New York on who was better and who they should trade between him and Jacob deGrom. Today, it's ridiculous to think this was ever a debate considering Harvey is getting minor league deals and deGrom has won 2 Cy Youngs, but in Harvey's first 3 seasons as a Met, there is a serious argument to that Harvey was actually better than deGrom. Harvey's stats from 2012 to 2015 was a 2.53 ERA, a 2.65 FIP, and a 1 WHIP. This man was extremely dominant. And that did not change in the playoffs as he helped the Mets get to their first World Series since 2000. But here's when his career started to go south. He got the nod in Game 5 of the World Series against the Royals with their backs up against the wall, down 3-1 in the series. And yet again, nothing was different. He was absolutely dominating that Royals offense. Through 8 innings, he had 9 Ks and 0 earned runs. He was yet again showing why he was one of the best pitchers in baseball. But even with that complete domination through 8 shutout innings, Terry Collins, the Mets manager, said he was done until Matt Harvey made one of the biggest mistakes of his career that still haunts him to this day.
No way are you taking me out of this game. Collins and Worthen had already decided to take him out.
He wants to finish. Let's see what they decide. You can see him sprint out there to the mound.
In comes the pitch. Ball 4. Fly ball left field. Kane will score, and Hosmer is at second base.
And that's it for Matt Harvey.
The Mets ended up losing this game 7-2 to extras, which of course would make them lose the series, and Harvey has been nowhere near the same since. The Mets DFA'd him in 2017, and he's bounced around with the Reds, Angels, and Royals since then, but has just been horrible with all of them. Will Matt Harvey ever get back to being even a solid star in the league? Guess we'll find out. With the 6th overall pick in the 2010 MLB draft, the Arizona Diamondbacks select Barrett Liu, pitcher from Texas A&M. This was an interesting one because unlike Carson Whiteson, it was the Diamondbacks that didn't sign Liu, not the other way around. Why? Because he failed his physical, and as a result, the Diamondbacks did not offer Liu a contract as they chose to take advantage of the compensation rule that instead would grant them the 7th overall pick in the 2011 MLB draft if they did not sign him. This actually changed some things as MLB added clauses that include mandatory physicals for all top 200 prospects prior to the draft. So instead of signing 6th overall, he actually signed as a free agent with the Texas Rangers. Then was with the Cubs AAA team for a couple seasons, and that was it in the minors for him. He also played for 2 different independent league teams in 2016, but that was it for him in professional baseball. Wondering who they got with the 7th overall pick in 2011? It was Archie Bradley. With the 5th overall pick in the 2010 MLB draft, the Cleveland Indians select Drew Pomeranz, pitcher from Ole Miss. Pomeranz is the first player on this list that has actually put together a solid, semi-consistent career. He actually barely played for the team that drafted him as he was traded to the Rockies for Ubaldo Jimenez. Now, Poms has had some up and down seasons in his career and has also been passed around more than Kendall Jenner and NBA players, with him playing for 6 different teams throughout his career already. But it looks like he has finally found his A+ stuff with Milwaukee Brewers in the second half of 2019, and most recently with his current team, the San Diego Padres. He might not have been 5th overall worthy, but Pomeranz definitely has put up a very solid MLB career so far. With the 4th overall pick in the 2010 MLB draft, the Kansas City Royals select Christian Colon, shortstop out of Cal State Fullerton. Now, Colon hasn't had a good, or honestly even average MLB career so far, but with that being said, he still had one of the biggest hits in Kansas City Royals history.
Season. Colon delivers in the left, and the score is Dyson, and Kansas City is on top 3-2.
Does that game kind of look familiar to you guys? Yeah, it's the same game that wouldn't have even gotten to that point if Matt Harvey wouldn't have been sent out for the 9th inning. Isn't it just crazy how some things come together like that? Colon only played 125 total games in 4 seasons with the Royals, but he got them the lead in the 12th inning of a World Series clinching game. That's worth the number 4 pick alone. He did spend the last 2 seasons a little bit with the Cincinnati Reds, but got DFA'd this past August after he went just 3 for 23 with the team, and currently he's a free agent. With the 3rd overall pick of the 2010 MLB draft, the Baltimore Orioles select Manny Machado, shortstop from Brito Miami Private School. Manny Machado is known for a few things. Being a good baseball player is one of them, but intentionally injuring players and even ending Dustin Pedroia's career is another. Oh, and also, don't forget, hustling isn't his cup of tea unless he can find out a way to take out someone on the other team.
I'm not the type of player that's going to be Johnny Hustle and run down the line and slide to first base. That's just not my personality. That's not my cup of tea.
Let's just take a quick peek at the Bush League things this man has done throughout his major league career so far. Manny Machado can be as good as he wants, but me and many other baseball fans will never respect him. With the 2nd pick of the 2010 MLB draft, the Pittsburgh Pirates select Jameson Taillon, pitcher from the Woodlands High School in Texas. Regardless of where you pick in the draft, it's always tough to find solid MLB talent. And of course, Taillon might not be as good as Machado or the guy we're about to talk about at number 1, but he's still been a very solid pitcher for the Pirates in his 4 seasons with them. In his career, he's put up a 3.67 ERA, a 3.55 FIP, and a 1.247 WHIP. He missed the entire 2020 season with Tommy John surgery, and recently his name has been brought up in trade talks with the New York Yankees. Going from one of the worst teams to one of the best teams could finally make this guy live up to that number 2 pick hype that he had 10 years ago. And lastly, with the first overall pick of the 2010 MLB draft, the Washington Nationals select Bryce Harper, outfielder from Southern Nevada. There was no debate with who the Nationals were going to take #1 overall. The hype around Bryce Harper ahead of this draft was as much hype as there's ever been, and he hasn't disappointed so far. He made his MLB debut in just his second professional season at the age of 19, and he showed the world that he deserved to be there by winning Rookie of the Year and being an all-star in his first season. So far, his best season was 2015, where he put up godly numbers of a 460 OBP and 1109 OPS. During that season, there was a very serious debate between baseball fans on who was the better player then and which player would you rather have for the next 10 years between Bryce Harper and Mike Trout. Of course, now that's a pretty easy answer, but a lot of people would have taken Bryce Harper 5 years ago. And that's not a diss at Harper. Mike Trout is just simply that good at baseball. Harper played 3 more seasons in DC after his MVP season and put up great numbers, but was never able to replicate that 2015 season. Then on February 28, 2019, Bryce Harper signed the richest contract in Major League Baseball history at the time for 13 years and $330 million. He just finished year 2 with the Phillies and earned that money so far, but with the Phillies finishing 4th place in 2019 and 3rd place in 2020, you have to wonder if they will be able to build a World Series team around him eventually. Regardless if they win a World Series or not with Bryce Harper, they sign him for moments like this.
Oh my God! Deep to right